Hello and welcome. Thank you for watching 84 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Adirayo Senami. Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Buhari this Saturday has donated medical items to support the fight against the spread of coronavirus in the country. According to a statement by her special assistant on media, Aliu Abdullahi, the items distributed include hand sanitizers, pharmaceutical drugs, personnel protective equipment, including disposable gowns and overalls. The statement further indicated that the items were distributed to hospitals in Bauchi, Gombe, and the Federal Capital Territory. Amid the preparations for the evacuation of Nigerians abroad due to the raging COVID-19 across the world, hotels in Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory have refused to make rooms available for the isolation of returnees when they arrive in the country. Over 2,000 Nigerians in the UK, the US, United Arab Emirates, China, and other countries have registered with the Nigerian missions in their countries of residence for evacuation after agreeing to subject themselves to mandatory coronavirus testing and 14-day quarantine on arrival in Lagos or Abuja. However, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, at the briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 on Friday, said finding hotels to quarantine the returnees has been a serious challenge because hotels believe using their facilities to isolate the returnees could damage their brands. The Chief of Staff to Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, Taiwo Akerele, has resigned based on what he calls administrative and governance differences. In his resignation letter dated the 25th of April 2020, he requested his privacy be respected as he parts ways administratively with the government. He expressed gratitude to the Governor of Edo State for the opportunity to serve. He also thanked the Oba of Benin for his immense leadership and support during the period he served in this capacity. And moving on to world news, the National Health Services in the UK is launching a campaign to make sure people seek urgent care during medical emergencies. The new public health campaign will begin next week to remind people to contact their doctors or call 111 if they need urgent care or visit a hospital if they're told to do so. It also calls upon Britons to use their vital services such as cancer screening and treatment, maternity appointments, and mental health support as usual. The NHS Chief Executive, Sir Simon Stevens, stressed that the health services are still there for non-coronavirus patients who might be suffering from a stroke, heart attacks, and other potentially fatal conditions. Brazil's top public prosecutor, Augusto Aras, has requested clearance to investigate allegations of political interference by President Jair Bolsonaro. This comes after Justice Minister Sergio Moro resigned on Friday, accusing the president of wanting to install a new federal police chief who will provide him with intelligence reports. The row has thrown Bolsonaro's administration into turmoil as it struggles to address the coronavirus crisis. Brazil has nearly 55,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19, with more than 3,700 dead, according to Johns Hopkins University in the US. We'll take a short break now. When we return, Saudi Arabia abolishes flogging as punishment. Stay with us, details coming shortly.
Mental health and the COVID-19. It is no longer news that the coronavirus disease is now a pandemic. New cases are on the rise and the death rates have increased. People may develop issues of poor sleep, poor eating habits, undue irritability, and uncertainty. Some may also start to cope with the use of alcohol, substances of abuse, and self-harm. While all of these reactions can occur in response to a stressful event, it is important to share tips to help people remain in optimal mental health. 1. Let's normalize the conversation. If you feel anxious or afraid about the virus, remember, you are not alone. 2. Don't self-diagnose. Just because you have symptoms that are alike to COVID-19 doesn't mean you have it. 3. Plug out and limit sources of information to credible ones. 4. Develop a healthy daily routine, especially as quarantine is ongoing. 5. Focus on the things you have control over. 6. Practice social distancing, not social isolation. Utilize online channels to keep in touch with friends, family, and loved ones. 7. Avoid maladaptive coping techniques such as drinking and smoking excessively or self-harm. 8. Educate children, the elderly, and loved ones on social distancing, quarantine, and how to keep safe. 9. Take care of yourself by eating healthy and sleeping well. 10. Create time for self-development via reading and online webinars. 11. If you or anyone you know has a physical or mental health problem, please use your medications and encourage them to do same. 12. Reach out, seek help, and get help should the need arise for your health. Remember that there is no health without mental health.
Welcome back. As one of its latest in series of human rights advances, the Saudi Arabia Supreme Court announced that Saudi Arabia has abolished flogging as a form of punishment. The Saudi Supreme Court said the latest reform is intended to bring the kingdom in line with international human rights norms against corporal punishment. Previously, the courts could order the flogging of convicts found guilty of offences ranging from extramarital sex. The Supreme Court, in a statement, said judges will henceforth have to choose between fines and/or jail sentences or non-custodial alternatives like a community service. The headline legal reforms overseen by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman have brought no let-up in the conservative Islamic kingdom's crushing of dissent. An uncertain easing around the world of coronavirus lockdowns gathered pace on Saturday with the reopening in India of neighborhood stores that many of the country's 1.3 billion people rely on for everything from cold drinks to mobile phones or data cards. The relaxation of India's lockdown came with major warnings. It did not apply to hundreds of quarantine towns and other hotspots that have been hit hardest by the outbreak that has killed more than 775 people in the country and terrified its multitudes of poor who live from hand to mouth in slum conditions too crowded for social distancing. In another development, China has sought to block a European Union report alleging that Beijing is spreading disinformation about COVID-19 outbreak. The report was released just before the start of the weekend. The Chinese mission to the European Union was not immediately available for comments, and China's foreign ministry did not immediately respond to fax questions about the exchange. Hundreds of people who live in Poland and work in Germany protested on Friday evening in the southwestern Polish town of Zozelek against a mandatory coronavirus quarantine for those who crossed the border. Poland was one of the first European Union states to close its borders due to the outbreak of the new COVID-19. The country also imposed a mandatory 2-week lockdown for those who enter its territory, a major jolt for those who live their lives in between two European Union states. And that's it on 84 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. You can join the conversation on our social media platforms at 84 TV Radio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at 84 TV Radio. Many thanks for watching. I am Adirayo Dada.